All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Makar Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elected nation of Israel. This is going to be a lesson talking about how it's easy to be proud when you're winning, right? It's easy to be proud when you're in a time of peace. But when people start catching hell, that's when everybody all of a sudden wants to be humble, man. Right? And I'm going to read this scripture here in the book of Sirach. This is Sirach chapter 41. Sirach chapter 41 and verse 1. O death, how bitter is the remembrance of thee to a man that liveth at rest in his possessions, unto the man that have nothing to vex him, and that have prosperity in all things, yea, unto him that is yet able to receive meat. Now, there's people that literally have lives where they don't have nothing to vex them, right? But there's people, and as we know anyway, in general, the things that people are at peace with, right, and find as their need for sustenance can vary. So one person might think that having £1 million in their bank account makes them be poor. Another person might have £1 million in their bank account, and that's like 20 times more than they would have ever expected to have in their bank account at one time. And another person might be comfortable with having £50 in their bank account, man, and they might not really think that they've got anything to vex them, right? So people that have lives like that, they're at peace, man. People that have lives where they think that they ain't got nothing to bother them, whether they have or not, whether they're ignorant to or not, those people are at peace, man. So if you try and talk to them about repenting, they ain't going to try and hear that. Now, the main people that are going to be like this are going to be people that have the ability to boast in their riches, in their might, and in their knowledge, man. Right? Those are going to be the main people. In fact, let me get it. Let me get a scripture. Let me get a scripture on that, because Yahweh gave us this Bible, man, and spoke about and gave it to understand things. Proverbs chapter 30 and verse 7. 2 things have I required of thee. Deny me them not before I die. Remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me. And there's a reason for that, and it goes into it. Lest I be full and deny thee and say, who is Yahweh? Or lest I be poor and steal and take the name of my power in vain. So you're not supposed to have too much in this world. Neither are you supposed to have too little. And that's different, and that varies for each individual man. Like I said before, what one person finds comfortable to live like is going to be different to what another person finds comfortable to live like. But every single person of the elect of the nation of Israel is going to continually be put through phases of having and not having, knowing how to abound and how to abase, just like how Paul said. They're going to be given different scenarios to try and to test them, to where they have been tried in the fire of affliction, man, so that they know how to handle and how to not get puffed up when they're in a time where things are going good for them. Because in a time where things have been going good for them previously, Yahweh would have brought that good times away from them. And he would also gave them time, gave them the ability to know that when things are going bad in their life, right? Could be health, could it be their woman, could be their job, could be whatever thing that he's used to test them, right? Eventually that time passes. And the main thing that we're all preparing our spirits for right now is people that are hoping to be of the elect of the nation of Israel and to get beamed up into chariots, man, or to lose our lives and then end up in them chariots anyway, in our new body that we're waiting to receive. The thing that we're waiting to fight against is the Karagma, and that's going to be the ultimate spiritual test, man. There's not going to be a greater spiritual test than that any person on this earth is ever going to have to face, man. That's going to be the ultimate test on this whole earth, to fight against that. Revelation chapter 3 and verse 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world, to try them that dwell upon the earth. And that's why it's funny when these Christians actually thinking that they're going to be getting raptured up before any of this happens, man. These Christians think that, even some of these Christians that not understand exactly what the MOTB is that's mentioned in Revelation 13 and 16, even those ones that understand what it is, they think that they're going to be getting raptured up first before they have to deny it. You know how arrogant that is? The Messiah to die on the cross got whipped, got a crown of thorns crammed into his head, man. Got beat, got laughed at, got slapped in the face, but you think that you are just gonna get raptured out of the earth before you have to even go for anything. No, we're gonna be on the earth and we're gonna see a whole bunch of stuff, man. We're gonna see a whole bunch of stuff. We might end up in a place where we end up by cannibals, you know. We might end up in a place where we're getting chased by wild dogs. But Yahweh helps us from that. In fact, let me get that scripture first, man. Let me get that scripture first. Amos chapter 5 and verse 18. Woe unto you that desire the day of Yahweh. To what end is it for you? The day of Yahweh is darkness and not light. So there's some people that are desiring the day of the Lord because they're thinking that they're going to get raptured up before they even get to see anything, any kind of pain or suffering on the earth, man. They actually think that in their arrogance and in their ignorance. Verse 19, as if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him. Now, I don't know about anybody else that's going to watch this video, but I don't think I could outrun. I know I couldn't outrun a lion, and I wouldn't want to have to outrun a lion. But the day of the Lord is being compared to running from a lion, right? Then it goes on to say, and a bear met him. So he ran away from a lion. And this is being used as a metaphor. You ran away from a lion, and then you meet a bear. Now, bears are fast too. And bears are good climbers of trees, man. And bears are huge, man, depending on what bear you see. Some bears are like 10 to 13 feet, man. That's huge. And leaned his hand on a wall, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall, and a serpent bit him. So it's the day of the Lord is being compared to escaping from wild animals, man. Humans don't do very good against wild animals, right? Even when they have weapons, sometimes those weapons don't do what they're supposed to do, man, and ain't enough to protect. Verse 20, shall not the day of Yahweh be darkness and not light, even very dark and no brightness in it? Now, right now, people are proud and they've got things to boast in, man. So they might have been like, oh, I've got a job, right? I go on holiday once a year, twice a year, 3 times a year. I got a woman that's attractive enough for me to sleep with, right? So they think in their mind, oh, I'm the man. Like, nobody can't tell me nothing, man. I don't need to hear about no Bible thing because I've got it already myself. They think that. Or you might be a rapper, right? And you make money off TikTok, but you rap as well, and so you're trying to do the fogged out thing, but then you're trying to do the social media bit as well. Or you might be a manosphere speaker, right? And you're just bunning out women, and then you're saying like the super chat, hit the super chat, you know, and then people hit the super chat, and then you're getting like a £500 every single live stream that you do, you know, £200 here, £100 there, and that's paying your wage. Plus you're getting paid from YouTube, and you think, man, I've found a lane right here, man. This is it. I'm gonna be I hope women stay being wicked so that I can keep making more videos. So you're thinking you're the man. Jeremiah chapter 9 and verse 23 does say, if Yahweh let not the wise man glory in his wisdom. So you might be an E equals MC squared, Neil deGrasse type cat, right? And you've got all this long vocabulary. And whenever people ask you a simple question, you can say, oh, but do you understand the deeper meaning of that? And you can break it down, right? You can come up with a theory here and a theory there. You don't really ever break anything down completely. You just always make a educated theory on it, right? But people are like, whoa, he's smart. And then you make a book. Oh, my new book's going to explain all of this. Then you put a price tag on there. You get it on Amazon. People can buy it from you on Amazon Prime, right? It's all your work. Then you get asked to come to universities. They interview you. Oh, isn't he great? You're in front of a whole group of future minds, and you're talking this and talking that, and they're all just listening to every word you say. So you've glorified in your wisdom, right? But then it goes on to say, neither let the mighty man glory in his might. You might be a Gervonta Davis type cat, 5'5", but one punch from you could knock a guy out. But what's Gervonta Davis on really, if we look at it deeper? What kind of things is he being used to promote? He's walking around with pink coats and turquoise purses that if you bought your woman that, right, she'd fall in love with you all over again. If you bought your woman them same purses that Gervonta Davis is wearing, your woman would get gassed up. If you bought your woman that, probably like a £10,000 purse, man, but he's wearing that, and he's a current world champion, man, the biggest threat in that whole division. But people come to see him, though, when he fights. All the celebrities gather around. He's like almost like the new Floyd, man. He's like the new Floyd. in terms of how people were watching him fight and looking forward to his fights. But it says neither let the mighty man glory in his might. So that's what he's got. He's glorying, right? So that's why he doesn't even feel like he's being an idiot by wearing these feminine things, because he thinks, well, who's gonna say something? Because I can beat them up. That's what he thinks. Let not the rich man glory in his riches. So there's people out here that are just rich, man. Like, they think when it comes to money, they ain't having to worry about anything financial in their life. There's people like that, man. They've just got the bag, man. They've got the money, they've got the moolah, and they're just rich. And nobody can't tell them that they ain't rich, man. Anything that they want, they can get it. If they want a new car, they can get a new car. If they want to go on a holiday, they're going to that place the next night. And they don't need to bring no luggage, because they'll buy everything that they need when they're there. There's people that are living like that. So they've got a glory in that. But what are we supposed to glory in? Verse 24, but let him that glorieth glory in this, that he understandeth and knoweth me, that I am Yahweh, which exercise loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness in the earth. For in these things I delight, saith Yahweh. So people are glorifying in all of that, man. But it's gonna go bad. Everything's gonna go bad, man. Everything's gonna go dark. And it's easy to glory and to boast and to be proud when you've got things going comfortable, and you know pretty much what time you're gonna eat dinner. You know that you're gonna wake up in the morning and what your breakfast options are, right? You know, okay, I normally have a smoke break at work at around 12, and then I have my half an hour break, but because they like me there, I sneak an extra 15 and nobody says anything. So I really have a 45-minute break. And I've been doing that for the past 3-4 years at work. And that I've been getting away with it every time. It's all right to think that, to be proud then, you know? But eventually, everything that works don't work anymore. 2 Ezra chapter 15 and verse 14, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. So everyone that's boasting in their might is going to get the chance to see how their might is. And the thing with street fighting, right, that's different than combat sports. And the thing with fighting on a battlefield, that's different than a street fight. And the thing with fighting in war, that's different than fighting in a fight to the death. That's even different, man. That's even different. Because everything gets used when it comes to war. Everything, man. When it comes to war, everything's a goal. There's not no, oh, you can't do no faces, just body shots. There's not no, no biting. There's not no, you can't hit him in the groin. There's not no, you can't hit me in that head. No hitting in heads with rocks. Nah, that's not allowed. No, everything's allowed when it comes to warfare. There's no, okay, you can't blow up that building, blow up this building. No, everything's allowed. And over in Ukraine right now, everything's being acceptable in terms of that fighting, man. And ultimately, Yahweh's going to make everything become acceptable, man. Every single weapon that's ready and been made for the thought process of warfare is going to be fair game, and including the ICBMs that have been created in mass all over the world by all these different nations, man. Those things were not made just so that they could not be used and then everyone gets beamed up. No, those things are part of the process as to why people are going to need to get beamed up in the first place, right? Them things being made and being invented is the reason why people are going to need to get beamed up, because they're going to need to get saved from those things after they hit the earth and all the mass destruction that's going to cause, man. The destroying wind, right? Zechariah 14 and 12, people melting on their feet as they stand upon their feet, their eyes being melted away in their sockets, the tongue being consumed away in their mouth, right? Malachi chapter 4 and verse 1, behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven. That's what's going to cause that. That's what's going to cause the lake of fire, which is America, from a top view, man. The America from the top view, when you look down at it, it's going to look like a lake of fire. Because the amount of nukes that are going to hit that place, you're going to be able to see if you was off the earth, man. And it's going to look like a lake of fire. There's going to just be nothing but fire, man. Nothing but fire around. Nothing but fire. Verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So for people that are rich right now, Part of the reason why their riches matters is because people respect money, right? So people see the money on a note and they say, okay, if I don't have enough of these, I can't get this or I can't get that. But eventually, when this society collapses, people are going to understand that the reality of that being true is going to have changed and that it was never true in the first place. So they might walk past the car showroom and be like, man, I always hoped that I would have driven a Mercedes one day, but I never had the money. But tonight, I'm gonna go on a, they're gonna be on that Diego spirit, man. People are gonna be on that Diego spirit from Purge for all things. So Pete Diego was on that Purge spirit for women, but there's gonna be other people that are gonna be on that Purge spirit, that Diego spirit for cars, for clothes, for jewelry. There's gonna be people that are gonna be doing all that, man. They're not gonna respect the current rules of the system anymore. They ain't gonna respect the government no more because they're gonna have lost their wealth. They're gonna have said, well, I've trusted in the government before, and that didn't work right because when I went to my bank and I tried to take out my money that I earned, the bank said to me, it's not in there. But I know when I checked my bank statement last night, it was in there. So I don't trust you anymore. So now me and all these other people, that's the kind of thought process these people are going to have. They're going to say, well, now me and all these other people, we don't no longer trust you. And they're going to turn against the same governments that they once trusted in, man. Verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. That's one of the other things that's going to cause for these people to switch. All these 15-minute cities, people are going to get tired of being told what to do all the time because as it's stood in this world, people have always said, don't judge, don't judge. You can't tell people anything. You can't tell people this. You can't tell people that. So people have really believed that that's true. They've really believed that you can just do whatever you want to do because the world's been telling them you can do whatever you want to do. Oh, you're not this gender anymore. You can be that gender. You can just be whatever you want to be. 30 is the new 20. 40 is the new 30. 50 is the new 40. They've been just getting told that they can do whatever they want to do all the time. So eventually they're going to lose the plot when they realize that now they're being told what to do. They're gonna lose their mind, man. Verse 18. And all that pride is gonna get dragged away, man. Verse 18, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. People are gonna lose their mind when they realize that this society is crumbling. Because there's a lot of people that trust in this place, man. They've got like 20-year plans. They're looking at their child and they're like, man, I can't wait for him to take over the family business. They've got him on a different educational system than the average. And they're thinking, yeah, I can't wait for little Timmy to build up and become a man so that he can take over the family business. I've been waiting for this. And they're thinking they're going to retire and just play golf or wash your handicap. They're thinking that, man. Oh, I hit a bogey the other day. On my golf. It was a terrible game. Oh, I hit a birdie the other day on hole 7. They're thinking that that's going to be their life, man, and that they're just going to have I've put mine in my money in index funds and it's just building up gradually, and I'm going to hand it over to my son when I pass. Verse 19: a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with a sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and to great tribulation. So let's take it back to the fighting thing, man. Gervonta Davis, when it comes to boxing, is a juggernaut when it comes to that. He's nice with it. But Gervonta Davis, if we really analyze the statistics, he's 5'5" and about 150 pounds probably if he wasn't training. That's not a big man by any stretch of the imagination. Now, he's trained in fighting, but I would still think that a guy that's 6'2" and 250 pounds stands a better chance in a fight than him. That's what I would personally think. I don't know what anybody else would say, but I would think that that's just naturally going to be the case, man. Because boxing and everything else when it comes to warfare is completely different, man. And there's a little well, not a little, it's like a TV show or a documentary kind of thing where it showed UFC fighters training with the US military before, man. And the UFC fighters, if it came to hand combat, are clearly better. But when it came to practicing with pretend weapons and all of that kind of thing, they didn't know how to do it. They didn't know how to do it, man, because it's not something that you can just turn on. Just like how faith is not something that you can just turn on. You've either got faith or you don't. And the faith cannot be bought. The faith's given by the Lord. So you can't make yourself have it. Nobody can't see that I've got some faith or you've got some faith and say, oh, we've got loads of faith, so maybe we'll be able to buy some faith off him. And they say, you know what, I'll trade you some of your faith for these. I've got 5 loaves of bread in all destructions happening. I'm going to trade you 1 loaf of bread for a bit of faith. No, it's not going to work like that, man. Ephesians chapter 2 and verse 8, for by grace are ye saved through faith, and that not of yourselves, it is the gift of God, not of works, lest any man should boast. So no one's going to be able to boast because they got faith, because it wasn't their fault that they have it anyway. It wasn't because of them. We never asked to believe in this, man. We all thought that we was going to believe in completely different things when we was younger. Some of us thought we was going to be football players. Some of us thought we was going to be an architect. Some of us thought we were going to be doctors. Some of us thought we were going to be lawyers. Some of us thought we were going to be bricklayer, a dentist, construction worker, a doorman, a plumber, an electrician. Some of us might have thought we were just going to be a roadman. Some of us thought we were going to just be gangsters. Some of us might have thought we wasn't even going to be alive when we was 20 years old, right? They all thought different things, all people of the elect. Some women thought that there was going to be, some of the women of the elect would have thought they're going to be models. Some of them would have thought they're going to be a reality TV show star. They might have thought they're going to be a singer. But Yahweh had other plans. Verse 10, for we are his workmanship, created in a Mashiach Yahweh Shai, unto good works, which Yahweh have before ordained that we should walk in them. So everything that we're doing has already been chosen, man. The time that we found out about the Lord was chosen. The method that we found out about the Lord was already chosen. Every time we caught hell and that are going to catch hell has already been chosen. Whether we're going to take the Karagma or not has already been chosen, man. And if we're of the elect, we're not taking it. So it doesn't really matter what nobody does to us. If we have the thought process in our mind, I want to be of the elect. I'm going to be of the elect, man. I want to be of the elect. Guess what? That means we're going to have faith unto the end, and then we will prove that we are of the elect. And the reason why we was hoping to be of the elect and thinking that we're of the elect is because we was of the elect. So we would have gave diligence to make our calling and election sure. And then we're going to prove that we was of the elect when we're beamed up in them chariots, man. And after you've rejected the Karagma unto death if necessary, you're of the elect, man. And you can be in the kingdom with a smile on your face, man. You can know you wasn't no sellout, man. But for a lot of these Israelites that they laugh and they mock and they get told that they're an Israelite and they say, no, I'm just a Gentile at the end of the day. And they make a bigger case for us not to be the Israelites than what heathens do in a lot of cases, man. Them Hebrew Israelites, Deuteronomy 28 and 68 is not talking about the Atlantic slave trade. Big fat demon coons. Some big, crusty, big Israelite woman looking like someone's big auntie, man, running her mouth and saying that we ain't cursed as a people. When she's cursed, she'll be cursed herself. But she'll be trying to make a big case saying we ain't cursed when she knows she's cursed, man. She knows she don't like her husband. That's part of the curses. She knows her husband don't really like her. That's part of the curses. She knows that she's got mental problems and she hates the Israelite man. That's part of the curses. For we are his workmanship, created in a Mashiach Yahweh Shai unto good works, which Yahweh have before ordained that we should walk in them. But like I said before, man, it's easy to be proud when things are going good for you. But when everything starts going bad, we're going to see how proud people are then, man. We're going to see how easy it is to be, how you can be proud when your belly's rumbling, man. How you can be proud when you have to sleep outside and you've never slept outside before. Not many people have slept outside before in a cold, abandoned building somewhere or literally outside, man. Normally people sleep with two or three pillows, you know, a big mattress with enough space to roll over, right? Oh, if that side of the pillow gets too warm, they turn it over and they feel the cool side and it cools their ear. You know, they ain't used to hard times, man. But Israelites are used to hard times. And the main Israelites that are used to hard times are Israelites of the elect of the nation of Israel, man. They've been getting tested and they've got wisdom and knowledge. Isaiah chapter 33 and verse 6, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of Yahweh is his treasure. And that's what's going to be our treasure in that time, man. That's what's going to be our treasure in that time. Wisdom and knowledge that we have, man. Now I'm going to end the lesson there. It's easy to be proud when everything's going good, man. But let's see if these people are proud when it goes bad. All praises to Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom.